in 1939 when you came here and played against the Jamestown team.
Roller coaster out in right field that I remember, and batting, the sun used to set across the lake and shine right in your eyes. And it was tough hitting, especially Jamestown had a couple of pitchers. One guy by the name of Joe Black. His father was some kind of an executive with Pittsburgh, and he could really throw hard. And boy, when you batted at night there, that was tough going. The following year, we come to Allen Park. I remember that had a big canvas all around the park.
Billy knows just where to walk, and when I talk, I always talk with Billy, 'cause Billy knows just how to talk. And when I dine, I always dine with Billy, 'cause he takes me where I get my fill. Want you to know I love him so. I just want to be with Bill.
One of Frank Heller's teammates in 1940 was Sal Magley. In Jamestown, he pitched 7 consecutive complete games. Here's Frank's recollections of Sal.
That's when he played with Niagara Falls. But he was a good pitcher. He had a very good control, and he was not a regular pitcher you see now wind up and throw. He used to throw like darts, it seemed, but he was pretty good. He used to knock them down underneath their chins. He was a funny guy, Sal Magley. He used to have a forehead that came to like a point. He used to butt heads with people, bet him that he'd knock them out. He did. He used to challenge guys to butt heads. Oh yeah, he pitched for Bradford.
Did he?
Yeah.
Did you get any sense that of greatness there with Spahn? Was he
Well, he always had good control, even when he pitched in Buffalo at South Park High. But I never thought he'd win 363 games, but he did.
This is an exceedingly rare photo taken in 1940 at Allen Park, and at the bat was Johnny Newman, hitting one of his many home runs that year.
He could hit, let me tell you. Johnny knows that. I remember we started off the year, we were both hitting about the same number of home runs for a couple of weeks, and then I said, I'll bet you, I'll hit you in home runs, John. He said, that's a bet. I don't know what we bet, $1 or $2. But by the year was over, I had, I don't know, about 16 and he had 40-something. But he could hit them hard, John. Boy, he could hit.
Tell me about Olean's manager, Jake Pitler.
He was a feisty old guy, though, Pitler. He was a institution with the Dodger outfit.
Yeah.
I guess he was with him about 45 years, almost as long as Lasorda.
Yeah. But he would egg the crowd on, as I understand.
Oh yeah, he was a real showman, I'll tell you. He didn't just stand in a box like they do nowadays and do nothing. He'd jump all over the place.
Third baseman of the 1941 Jamestown Falcons was Frank Carswell.
Well, I remember Frank Carswell. He was homesick for his mama
My mom
down in Texas.
Yeah.
So he wanted to go home. And he was having a hell of a year. He was hitting the hell out of the ball. So Harry Bisgar sent for his mother and paid her to stay in Jamestown.
That's
so
right.
he wouldn't go home.
That's the truth, too. He said, if my mommy can't come, I'm going to
That's
go
right,
home.
he was going to go home. He wanted to be a big shot. And I hit a triple. It wasn't a triple, I got tagged out at third, but as I slid into third, the third baseman hit me on the chest, and I just rolled over and vomited all over third base. Sicker than a dog. That was my last chewing tobacco. I went into gum from then on.
Hey, listen, I have to work like hell for my money now. Jesus, wash those damn socks, shine the shoes.
Then they cheat you out of your dough anyway.
Oh, I have to go to Malivi and say, hey, this guy owes me. This guy owes me.
Let me tell you, there wasn't too much tip in them days, and there wasn't that much money around. But I'll never forget the concession stand. Mrs. Kerner and her daughter Sylvia ran it.
Yeah.
And we'd come out after the game and the popcorn would be left over, a couple of hot dogs laying on a grill that wasn't sold. Can I have one for a nickel? No way, 10 cents. So I said to Ben, I said, Jesus, your mother's the toughest dame in the world. She won't even give me a whole hot dog for half price. He says, Frank, business is business. When you go out with me, you never pay, but when you buy something, you pay. And that's how he was. They were tough with a buck. Of course, he wound up a millionaire, so must have been a smart practice.
Frank, what about the story between you and Frank Smirker over a certain bet?
Frank Smirker and me said, Frank, when you hit, I don't know how many home runs, and Smirker pitches a shutout, which he hadn't done all year, he said, I'll buy you a good dinner. I said, okay, that's a good deal. But geez, on the last day of the season, I hit the home runs early, but Frank Smirker pitched a shutout the last game. And he invited us over to 210 Pine, and we walked in, and he took us in the cold room where all the sides of beef were hanging all with, what they called,
Refrigeration.
yeah, but they had that cloth on it.
Oh, yeah, right.
And they were all full of green hair. I said, you're gonna feed us that? Well, he said, them are real good steaks. When I get them cleaned up, they'll be delicious. So they trimmed them all down and cut all the mold off and everything, and we really had 2 steaks. Boy, they were about that round, about that thick. And then right after that, he got burned up the next year or two.
Frank led the 1941 New Pony League as a top fielder with a .982 percentage, and also led the Jamestown team by collecting the most hits, 145. After the 1941 season, he went back to his hometown of Buffalo and played for the Bisons.
With Buffalo, 43. They sprained my ankle. I was out about 2 months. And in 44, I started with Buffalo. Played about not even a half a season. I went Navy. 2 years I was in there, and then I come out and I got sent to Atlanta, Georgia in the Southern League. We won the pennant, played the Dixie World Series, and got beat by Dallas, who had half of old Buffalo's team with them that year.
Okay.
Hank Oana and pitcher by the name of Hank Perry, and about 5 or 6 guys that played with Buffalo. And then after that, I went to Williamsport. I played at Williamsport the whole year, 47 and part of 48. And in 49, I went up to the Border League, and I managed the team up there for a year and a half. I retired in 50.
Watertown.
When you were in 43, Frank was playing with Buffalo, and Parky was playing with Buffalo. And I was a kid. I was just, we all went up to Buffalo to take our physicals, pre-induction physicals. Then you pass your physical, say I do, and 2 weeks later you get on the goddamn train and you're gone. And there was Frank, ranting and raving like he usually does. Gallagher, come here. He said, this son of a bitch, and he's pointing to Parky. He says he saw a high school kid drop kick a football 96 yards in Jamestown. Now tell me it ain't so. God damn it. Oh, Jesus Christ.
One time in spring training, somebody asked Lyle, he said, is it a big jump from the D League to Triple A? He said, no, it's only 70 miles from Buffalo. Right. I just told my son this was the friendliest town I ever was in. We had a good time there. Oh yeah, it was really nice.
The very thought of you, and I forget to do the little ordinary things that everyone ought to do.